Welcome to the third video in this video playlist series that covers the flight training that I've received from Olmsted Aviation as part of a scholarship that I've received from the Figure 1 Foundation. Figure 1 Foundation. Thanks for the hat, by the way. In the previous two videos, we have covered all the background and the context of these videos. So we'll just run through a quick disclaimer and then we'll get straight into the flying. See you there.
Warning. The following is not flight training. It is for information and entertainment purposes only. Do not attempt any of these flight maneuvers without a suitably qualified instructor in an appropriately rated aircraft.
And just as a quick reminder, at the time of recording, I'm not an aerobatic pilot. I'm not proficient in any of these maneuvers, nor am I rated on a PIT special or proficient in any PITs flying. Right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's go.
Alright, relax, let it spin and start out some throttle for a few seconds. Hey, power, rudder, stick. Recover on heading. Tighten up for the G's. Yeah, makes a difference, huh? I was expecting it actually to maybe not get west because this is opposite direction, but it still gets west. Oh yeah. Yeah, because it drives that nose down and gives it more roll. Any power at all, doesn't matter right or left. Let's see what I say, that's a full next. Get a little bit more right rudder in the climb for coordination. What were you saying? Did you say something before? No, I was just asking, what must I do? Which direction must I follow? Okay, yeah, we just go westbound. You still comfortable doing a few spins? Yeah. Okay. Let's send some aileron into it. Let's go to the left this time. Alright, without power. And we'll start it going to the left, and then we'll add some aileron after it spins once or twice. Alright, you know, each spin I'll spin aileron. What's that in-spin aileron? You can kind of test it out, move it in, move it out, whatever you want, you know, get a feel for it. Get that throttle all the way out. Okay, now add the aileron into it. Well. That definitely changes things too, huh? No, that makes it even less in power. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it sounds like it. Okay. Let's do the same thing to the right. This time I want you to move it away and in. So I want you to kind of go in and out of the spin. And just get the feel. Go in for a second, go out for a second. And just play test pilot a little bit, get a feel for it. Okay. Make sure you don't pull too hard initially right after you recover from the spin. Right? We could put it into another stall. I think, yeah. So power all the way out, full rudder, full stick back. And start playing in, out, put it all the way to the left. There, you can feel that. Yeehaw! Alright, recover. Extra stall, everything neutral. Okay. On heading, tighten up for those G's. Right rudder on the climb. Well, you get the point of why we take aileron out. That's amazing. Like, either way, it just gets worse. Yeah. You want to do some of the rolls at slower speeds? Okay. Do you want to warm up with a roll at fast speed first, or do you want to? I think let's do that. Okay. Or we got to be heading east or west? Sure. Which way? Yeah, we can take a left turn, go east. Alright, so 0G roll. Yep, I'm going to give you some nose down trip here. Good, thank you. Try and pay attention to how you're centered in your seat while you're rolling, okay? Roll. Yeah, you just kind of float there in the center of your seat. You're not shooting up against one side or the other. Nice on-axis roll. Very nice. Alright. Okay, so now let's do one same direction. Let's do one at like 100 miles an hour. You can do the same thing. Keep the throttle in. Okay, and just pitch up to when you see a close to 100 or even a little less. Pitch up a little bit more. And unload and full aileron deflection. Good, full aileron deflection. And just let it go around. Doesn't matter if the nose drops. See how you're pulling back just a little bit there? Did you feel how you went down in your seat? No. longer to get through the thing. A little bit more discipline to keep the thing unloaded. You want to try the same thing to the right? Okay. Let's do this one at 90 miles an hour. Okay, with the 6 power setting. Yeah, that's fine. Pitch up a little bit more. Unload and full deflection against your leg. Try not to pull back. Keep that 0G feeling. Yeah, you're loading just a little bit there at the end. Brush off heading just slightly. No, I still missed. It was up against your leg, but you came back a little bit from the 0G setting. Alright, so you do that once again. Yeah, do that one once again. Try and keep that nose dropping. That's actually a good thing, because that means you're unloaded. Full deflection up against your leg. Up against your leg a little bit more, spread your legs. There you go. Yeah, see how you're kind of blocking full deflection with your leg? Yeah, I saw that standing. But that one was much better. You kept that 0G feeling. Faster roll rate. Okay, so want to do a 180 or... Yeah, sounds good. I'm just going to do it sort of a weak over right here. Yeah, sounds good. Unusual attitude recoveries. Okay, should I just gain some altitude first? Yeah, what I'm going to have you do, let's climb up to 4,000. And then what I'm going to have you do is dive down top of the green. I'm going to have you pitch up as far as you can, almost straight up. And I'm going to have you start rolling it until I see the word recover. Okay, so you're going to be jumped in vertical roll. Yeah, just start rolling it. Full aileron deflection, right or left, I don't care. Okay. And then I'll say the word recover, and unload it, let the nose drop, and then roll it square to the horizon. Alright. Okay, whenever you're ready. Okay. Okay, roll it. Roll full deflection, spin your legs. Okay, recover. Well, why'd you take the throttle out? It's a power hold. Nope. Why would you want to lose energy there? You just lost a lot more altitude doing that. Unless you're in a spin or you're approaching B&E, you don't take the throttle out. Okay, so now power on when you have the increasing airspeed going towards B&E, you take the throttle out. When you're losing airspeed, you don't want to reduce any more energy. Okay, sorry about that. No worries, when we turn around, we'll do the same thing again. Procedure still worked, we just lost more altitude than we needed to. Okay. But interesting how you almost don't even have to know where you are. You center that stick and the nose finds its way back down without stalling. Okay, so it's on recovery power on. Yeah, just leave the throttle where it's at. Okay. If you add throttle, it could make things worse as well. Okay, right, so if you add throttle, it could pitch the nose up and into a stall and add more yaw to the airplane. So let's just, wherever the throttle's at, we're just going to leave it alone. We're going to unload. Let the nose come down through the horizon and then roll. Okay, here we go. Okay, go for it. Stomach flat, thighs, roll the other direction this time. Okay, good, recover. Let it drop. Don't stand on any rudders either. Don't let it go. Okay, now square to the right. Stop pulling. Roll, roll, roll. See how you were going to do it split out of that? Always roll. Now I saw what I did. No. That's a very neutral attitude. Can you do that again? Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna maybe, why don't you pull it past vertical? So instead of pulling 90 degrees of pitch, pull like 100 or 110 degrees past vertical. Okay, and then we'll start rolling one direction or the other. Okay. Okay, start rolling. Okay, let's recover. Don't push, just relax. You don't want to give it a negative stall either. You feel yourself coming up in your belts, that's too much. No, I didn't push a bit too much there. But not bad, you found your way back to upright, that was good. How you feeling? Good. What is it? Where would you say you're at? Around 8. Okay. You up for a little bit of inverted? Yeah, were we done with the rest of the... yeah, I mean, I think we can get the most out of inverted if you're up for it. Let's try. What's the first maneuver? So let's just go inverted, and we'll just sustain level flight. I might ask you to raise the nose above the horizon and pause it for a second, then bring it back down. I'll just talk you through it, so... your belts feel good? I mean, it's no difference than just hanging from the monkey bars, you know? No, it's cool, so... let's just go inverted and relax. Nice. Okay, unload, roll, pull deflection, push your leg out of the way. Okay, just freeze the horizon. Once you raise it a little bit above the horizon, raise that nose up above the horizon, and then pause it. Okay, memorize that stick position. Okay, how you feeling? Good. Why don't you raise it a little bit more above the horizon? A little bit more? Okay, the horizon missing. Okay, now drop it back down to the horizon. Now move your foot left and move your foot right. Just feel it. It's still the same as before. You're just inverted. Whenever you're ready, you can relax and roll out of it. Back to that 0G and roll. Pull aileron deflection. Push that leg out of the way. Nice little head rush. Yeah. How you feeling? Much better than the previous times. Okay, good. Yeah, much better control too. Go ahead and turn around when you're ready. Let's get your... just gonna exit right. Okay. Notice how you have to use a little bit of left rudder at the high speeds here. That's the same as the P factor, right rudder in a climb. It's left rudder in a descent. Okay. How you feeling on 1 to 10 now? Still 8. Okay. Let's do a little bit more inverted stuff if you're up for it. Alright. Let's go inverted. I'm going to have you reduce the power almost idle. And we'll raise the nose above the horizon and let's find that sit stick position of that stall bumping. Okay. Once you find it, if you're ready to recover, just put the stick neutral again. Okay. Unload it and roll out of it. Same as the recovery procedure from before. Okay. Okay, so pitch the nose up, unload, get full deflection this time. Roll it like you mean it. Good. Alright, just take it out. Use a little bit of left rudder to center yourself in the seat. Perfect. You kind of hold your heading with your feet. Okay, now why don't you reduce that throttle out? Okay, raise the nose up a little bit more left rudder. We're changing heading a little bit. A little bit more left rudder. And throttle all the way out. Then move the stick forward another half an inch. Let's feel exactly where how far forward we have to be to get that negative angle of attack stall. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. There it is. Okay, neutral and roll out. towards your feet. The nose is in a pitch towards your feet, whether you're upright or inverted. Yeah. It's the same thing. You think about it that way. You move the stick towards your head, the nose is going to move towards your head. And you move your foot towards your right shoulder, you know, left and right. When you move your rudders, they do the same thing. So don't think foot up and down, left and right. Just move the stick the direction you want to go relative to you. You're still in the airplane the same way. Yeah. Feeling 1 to 10 now. 7. Okay. Do you want to do one of these developed spins, or do you want to do a little bit of more inverted plane on the way back? Your call. Let's do... Why don't we turn around while we're there on it? Several times. What I'm going to have you do is let go of the controls once we spin 4 or 5 times. And I want you to kind of feel and see where they are. Do they go back to neutral? Do they stay back? What happens when you let them go? Okay? So why don't we spin to the left? Doesn't matter. We're up at 5,000 feet. We have plenty of altitude. I'll have you recover before we're at 2,000 feet, but we have plenty of spin. So no rush at all. When you do the recovery procedure, I want you to also say it out loud. I want you to say throttle, you to say rudder, I want you to say stick, as or before you do them. Okay. Okay, so go ahead and enter the spin. If you want to enter it in kind of a turn, make it more realistic. Alright, full deflection, stick all the way back. Let's just let it spin a bunch of times, stick all the way back. Okay, power out, let's just let it, now go ahead and let it go. It kind of stays there, doesn't it? Yep. Alright. Power. Rudder. Okay. Okay, I'm going to crack the throttle. Alright. Interesting, huh? It kind of went into a spiral there at the end, but it still didn't want to recover too quickly, did it? Yeah. So let it go, even in a normal spin, not an aggravated spin. Still is definitely not as efficient of being the placement of the elevator. Not to go behind that critical angle of attack. Let's start a descent here. Drop that wing and check your blind spot. On to the right there. If you do, especially on base, if you keep the wing down the entire base turn, you can have a moving blind spot. If someone's doing a straight in, it'd be stuck under your nose the whole time. You won't be able to see them. We just go wings level at least once every time I'm on base, and crosswind too, same thing. Do a little less turn for visibility here. Okay, good. So let's keep it inside the bridge here on base. Ready, start your turn. And a little bit longer than you think you need to. Keep it above 100 for now. Hey, look out here, right? Check final. Good. Okay, finish that turn so you keep a small angle in here. And you can slow it down to 95. Let's work those elevator increments. So raise the nose a little bit, don't have power, but you're good. Raise it a little bit more, power, idle, more. A little bit more and let it land, and then weight the tail wheel down. And pull back all the way. All the way. That tail wheel. And let's chance ourselves to the left side of the runway. You can feel how easy a little input builds up side load.